And Brian Claypool, a criminal defense attorney.
Brian Claypool, you're a defense attorney, but you're also a man.
Brian Claypool is a criminal defense attorney. Good morning to both of you.
Former prosecutor Brian Claypool, a criminal defense attorney.
Let's bring in our defense attorney, Brian Claypool, listening.
Happy to have defense attorney Brian Claypool here to answer some of your questions. Brian, so glad you're with us.
Brian Claypool, defense attorney, L.A.
I want to bring in Brian Claypool. He's a criminal defense attorney. He's also a child advocate and also a graduate of Penn State. So, Brian, welcome to you. If I may, just your initial reaction. What's your initial reaction to learning about this Louis Freeh report today?
Brooke, the time is now to make change across this country in protecting kids and students. You know, I'm the lead lawyer in the Miramonte case. There's another disaster. It all results from top administration looking at abuse. These people all know about the abuse, and what they do, Brooke, is they decide this is a business decision. It's about money.
The question of him engaged in weird activity under his desk, and you're saying that continued.
That's right. Then in 1994, 3 parents came forward, reported more unusual activities by Burnt to the Miramonte school principal, and they were told, you know what they were told? There's the door. You want to take your kids somewhere else, take them to another school. And that proves to me that this case is no longer about negligence. It's about an intentional, willful behavior on the part of this school district to completely disregard the safety and welfare of these kids. They knew what was going on. And they then did this analysis. Hey, do we want to fight the union? Do we want to fight any civil lawsuits? Or do we want to kick these kids to the curb and hope that we don't get caught? Because but for these photographs coming forward, they would have never gotten caught.
So it was some sort of weird cost-benefit analysis. You know, what's a kid's emotional life worth versus our struggles with the contracts and the teachers' union? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And include that, what's the cost of litigating? They did that analysis, and then they said, hey, this low-income family doesn't have a voice. They're not going to fight us. They'll never find out about it.
Do you think this was a subtle analysis they were doing sort of, you know, qualitatively? Did they actually sit down with a pen and paper and go, oh, I think it's going to cost this many dollars if we do this?
My opinion, it's not a subtle analysis. It's an overt analysis. They sit down and they do this analysis. I used to defend the same municipalities that I'm now suing.
Wow.
And I know what these folks do.
They do that. I don't know if you saw the LA Times this morning, but there's an article about this very issue with the contracts. You and I had talked, we'd raised it a couple of days ago. It's now getting into the press a little more, so I think you're onto something there.